Hello, my name is Chris Jako, and I joined BrainsWay as president and CEO this past January. First, I want to thank the organizers of the F50 Global Capital Summit 2020 for providing me with this forum. And I would also like to thank you for taking the time to learn more about BrainsWay and our incredible technology. I'm excited to be a part of BrainsWay. We have a significant opportunity ahead of us to create a great deal of value, which is what I'd like to share with you today. So no matter if you are a corporate executive, an investor, a physician, or someone just interested in high-tech medical technology, I believe you'll find value out of today's presentation. At the bare minimum, you will find out a new technology that could potentially save someone's life. As a public company, this is a disclaimer for forward-looking statements. BrainsWay was founded in 2003, and today we are comprised of just over 100 employees focused on a mission of providing hope to those with brain disorders. We are publicly traded on both NASDAQ and the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange with revenues over $20 million, and we are a high-growth global leader in the non-invasive treatment of brain disorders. Last year alone, our sales grew by 40%. We develop, manufacture, and market a proprietary high-tech neurostimulation platform technology. As a result of our game-changing technology, we have a significant market opportunity where our initial focus has been in mental health disorders. Specifically today, we have a FDA clearance for treatment of major depressive disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. We have over 500 systems installed, which we have collectively treated over 50,000 patients, and this includes over 1 million individual treatments, as a patient treatment includes multiple sessions. With a robust US reimbursement in place for our depression treatment, the technology allows for an excellent return on investment for the physicians or hospitals. Finally, we have a significant growth potential due to the number of factors that I will touch on in this presentation, but specifically our technology provides the potential to address a number of additional brain disorders. I want to turn your attention to our current unmet need that we are addressing today. For more than 50 years, mental health disorders have been treated with two primary methods, psychotherapy and pharmacotherapy. As some of you may know, there are a lot of potential side effects with antidepressants. What you may not know is that 1 in 2 patients fail their first antidepressant. This data was a result from a seminal large-scale practical clinical trial funded by the NIH, known as the STAR*D trial. In the over 4,000 patient study, further results showed that 1 out of 3 patients don't respond to any antidepressants. And it is specifically this large, treatment-resistant population where we focus our primary efforts on. Looking at the actual total adult population size, our first 2 indications of major depressive disorder, or MDD, and OCD combine to about 20 million patients. And it is too early at this point to take into account the long-lasting impact the COVID-19 pandemic will have on mental health. There are also other psychiatric and neurological disorders where we will be able to focus our technology on in the future. For example, addictions like nicotine and opioids. So what is the technology? It is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS for short. TMS has been shown to be safe and effective for certain brain disorders through rigorous clinical trials and commercial use. In fact, there have been over 1,000 publications on TMS alone in the 35 years since it was first developed. TMS works by pulsing a magnetic field over a patient's head to induce an electrical field in a precise location in the brain, which in turn then can reactivate neural networks, in essence, to get these areas of the brain functioning again. So since TMS has been around for a while, how does BrainsWay differ? Well, we offer a unique and patented design that allows a deeper and broader stimulation within the brain. This is setting a new standard in TMS treatment. and I will further elaborate the importance of this on the following slide. The key takeaway here is that our new advanced TMS, which we term Deep TMS, is also a non-invasive treatment. Similar to traditional TMS, it requires no anesthesia. Deep TMS is typically conducted in 4 to 6 weeks and sometimes more, with about a 20-minute daily treatment session. The upper right shows a picture of our system, where you can see we have a blue helmet that is used for our depression treatments and a yellow helmet, which is used for our OCD treatments. As you may imagine, the difference in the helmets is more than just the color. It is in the patented design of the coil within the helmet, which creates the unique, deeper, and broader stimulation within the brain. This is a bit of a busy slide, but the main takeaway here is that due to our unique coil design, which you see over here, we have a number of advantages over traditional TMS, which uses a simple, non-patented figure-8 shaped coil design, which you can see here. The difference in the coil design allows BrainsWay's technology to treat deeper and broader without any disadvantages. You can see on the far right the depth of penetration depicted in the MRI images, where it is clear that the Deep TMS has greater penetration versus traditional TMS, which is shallower and more focal. This is a great view of a number of our potential targets in the brain and the associated brain disorders we can potentially address. In addition to our current applications in depression, where we treat the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, in OCD, where we treat the anterior cingulate cortex, we recently filed for our first addiction labeling with the FDA that is targeted at smoking cessation. We had a very good result in our multi-center clinical trial where our Deep TMS targeted the insula. Here we show the results of our first double-blind multi-center trial that resulted in our FDA clearance for depression. With depression, the two primary indicators are response and remission. Response is to show Deep TMS is significantly improving a patient's condition by demonstrating a 50% reduction in their depression scoring method, known in this case as HDRS-21, prior to beginning their Deep TMS treatment, of course. Whereas remission of depression is a bit more obvious, but also a specific depression score needed to achieve, in this case, less than 10. In this 212 patient study, 1 out of every 3 patients who were already treatment resistant to antidepressants achieved remission. Additionally, and not depicted on this slide, we conducted a post-marketing study in over 1,300 MDD patients. And among those patients who completed a Deep TMS treatment course of 30 sessions, 1 out of 2 achieved a full remission. This is important information for people battling with major depression. And as our customers have explained to me, Deep TMS completely changed their paradigm in treating MDD. Now you may ask if there have been any head-to-head studies done with Deep TMS versus traditional TMS, and the answer is yes. Last year, an independent European randomized study at one institution published the results that compared 3 different patient groups. The first was treated with Deep TMS. The second group was treated with traditional TMS, and the last group were only given antidepressants. This study results show a statistically significant difference in the response rate in the 3 groups, where about 7 out of 10 patients positively responded with their Deep TMS treatment. This was in comparison with less than 5 out of 10 for traditional TMS, and only about 2 out of 10 patients responded with antidepressants alone. It's also important to note the differences in the remission rates. Only about 1 of the 10 patients reached remission with an antidepressant group, and about 4 out of 10 patients for the traditional TMS group, whereas for the Deep TMS, the results were about 6 out of 10 patients. This slide shows our results for OCD multi-center clinical trial, for which we used to gain our FDA clearance in late 2018. OCD is a more complex disorder Whereas there are many antidepressive medications, there are only 5 medications approved for OCD. For OCD, the treatment focus is on response rates, which is defined as at least 30% reduction in the OCD scoring method known as Y-box prior to their treatment. In our trial, 1 out of 3 patients achieved a response. In our post-marketing clinical trials of about 200 patients that is still going on and not shown here, more than 1 out of 2 patients achieved a response. This is extremely exciting and provides so much hope to this patient population. Turning into our commercial model, we have a number of ways for our clinicians to access our technology, namely leasing, a risk-sharing model, and an outright purchase. And as I mentioned on the outset of this presentation, the return on investment is extremely good, where a clinic or a hospital can earn up to $10,000, and in some cases more, per patient. The reimbursement coverage for Deep TMS is very extensive for the treatment of depression across the US with both Medicare and private payers. And we're continuing to pursue reimbursement for OCD on a larger scale with our increased valuable clinical data. Since this forum does not allow me a great deal of time, I wanted to provide you a quick summary slide of our growth opportunities. As you can now imagine, with some of the clinical results I have described, we have opportunities to further expand our US sales force to increase our reach. We also are looking at new indications, like I mentioned, with smoking cessation. Additionally, we have advancements in our technology, which I don't have time to go in here, and new territories, like, for example, Japan and China and other non-US countries. And of course, continued pursuit of appropriate reimbursement in the United States and outside the United States. All of these growth opportunities combined bring great value to BrainsWay, our customers, and the patients they serve. This is just a quick glimpse at our P&L for 2019 compared to 2018. The 2 most important things to focus on are, first, our growth of 41%. Again, this was prior to the COVID-19 outbreak. And second, our strong balance sheet with over $20 million in cash as of December 2019. This slide just further illustrates our impressive growth broken down by our 2 commercial models of selling outright and leasing of our Deep TMS system. To summarize, we have real data for physicians and patients who are desperately seeking hope for these complex brain disorders. This leads to a compelling story for investment in BrainsWay. I know you can appreciate our patented cutting-edge technology platform, which opens up some very important large markets to us. And by prioritizing our application pipeline combined with our continued sales execution, we anticipate continued significant growth potential in the future. Thus, this makes an exciting time to be a part of BrainsWay. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn more about our story and the organizers for allowing me to share it. If you're interested in investing, please contact my CFO, Judy Huber, at judy.huber@brainsway.com, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions at chris.vonyako@brainsway.com. Have a great day.